Welcome to our 10 championship week, so to speak, a version of acrepro buy sell. We didn't know we'd have one this week, but Iowa was beaten by Nebraska. Purdue beat Indiana, and lo and behold, we're into a Big Ten championship week as the Boilermakers will take on Michigan on Saturday, 8 p.m. at Lucas Oil Stadium. I want to thank acrepro. When it comes to land sales, it pays to have experts in your corner. acrepro Midwest Farm Group are your local farmland specialists with decades of experience in Indiana agriculture. No one knows the market better. Whether you're doing a 1031 exchange or simply buying and selling farmland, your local acrepro agent will walk the land with you, ensure the deal is done right. So visit acrepro.com or call 765-587-3185 or talk to your local land expert today. I think I finally memorized that number after all these times. But Tom, obviously this is uncharted territory for Purdue, the Big Ten championship game. And exciting time for Purdue fans just because you're going to have a huge event on Saturday night at Lucas Oil. I guess I want to maybe start with our analysis of that, and you're just getting into that for this week. You know, Purdue will have a large, one thing we do know, large number of fans there. It has become a hot ticket, which isn't surprising. It surprised me maybe a little bit, but that game is typically sold out with one exception, I think, the Nebraska-Wisconsin game. But I guess I'll say, are you buying or selling? This is a great football analysis question. Are you buying or selling that Purdue will have the louder fan base on Saturday night? We'll start with that. What do you think?
Yeah, I guess I'm buying. I mean, it's a big deal for these Purdue fans, like you said. This is like maybe a once in a lifetime type of a situation. The campus isn't far from, Lucas Oil Stadium, so I wouldn't be shocked if that place has tilts toward Purdue fans, and because of that they aren't the louder of the two fan bases come Saturday night at 8 p.m. when this thing kicks off.
Yeah, they sold out the student allotment, which I'm not 100% sure what that number was, but they sold those tickets out in 2 to 3 hours yesterday, that being Monday. Purdue will have a lot of folks down there, and I know just in my little sphere that people are very interested in doing it. And you're right, Tom. The thing is, it doesn't happen. This is Purdue's first appearance in this, but also the way that college football, the Big Ten, may be going to maybe just one more year of divisions. I mean, that's going to be a factor too. There's going to be a championship game, but it's going to make it a lot harder to make it, just because it probably would be a 1 versus 2 type game. Is that the way you see it?
Yeah, that's probably how it should be, honestly. And yeah, I think 2023 will be the last year of divisions. 2024, when USC and UCLA come aboard, the thought is they're going to go to just one division, 1 through 16, and then pair the top 2 teams in the conference in the championship game. That's happening in the Pac-12 this year.
Yeah,
always been happening in the Big 12, and and again, it's a chance, to get your 2 best teams in the conference championship game. I mean, if that was the case this year, we'd get another rematch of Ohio State and Michigan, and I think from coast to coast, America would have loved that, right? So it just makes a lot of sense. So for Purdue, at least they're going to get in under the wire here and at least can say they got to a championship game. Who knows? Crazy things happen in these ball games, and if for some reason Purdue can pull this off, they will punch their ticket and play in the Rose Bowl.
And that's stunning in its own right. In a stunning week for Purdue sports between basketball and football, that is a truism. I mean, you can punch it, and I know it doesn't mean anything necessarily, but Jeff Brohm 3-0 against top 5 opponents at Purdue. Are you buying or selling that he's got a formula for doing this? I mean, obviously he's had success. And if so, what is that formula that's going to take Purdue to the big upset on Saturday night?
Yeah, beat Ohio State in 2018, and last year beat Iowa and Michigan State. All 3 times they were top 3 teams, I believe. So he doesn't shrink from the big moment, if you will, and has stood and delivered big time upsets in these circumstances before as the Purdue coach. I think he's a pretty sharp coach. I think he knows how to game plan, knows how to find matchups. Doesn't always have the personnel the other team has, but can give his team, I think, a schematic advantage a lot of times. And I think Illinois kind of provided a little bit of a blueprint for teams. They almost won that game in Ann Arbor a couple of weeks ago. You got to make, first of all, on defense, make Michigan earn everything. You know, Ohio State took some chances defensively, played a lot of zero coverage, got beat, didn't have that deep safety, and Michigan had a lot of big plays. So keep things in front of you. That's not rocket science, and make this offense earn everything it gets the best you can. You can't give up big plays for touchdowns or you're doomed. And then offensively, you know, just try to stay balanced. And I think they have a shot, at least with Maccabi, to keep Michigan honest by running the football. And then from a Purdue standpoint, of course, their offense is going to have to hit some big plays. And can they do that? That's the big question to me, because it's an awfully good Michigan defense, a good secondary. And these Purdue receivers, not named Charlie Jones, get open and make some plays deep downfield.
Yeah, good point. And certainly Michigan, I was going to kind of lead me to my next buy-sell question. Are you buying that Purdue's biggest challenge is moving the ball and consistently, as you said, efficiently, and whether through Maccabi or through Aidan O'Connell, or is it their biggest challenge stopping Michigan's offense? Obviously, J.J. McCarthy has played very, very well last week. He's had some challenges this year, but he's extremely talented and has started to run the football a little bit. Donovan Edwards comes in off the bench. It doesn't sound like in your interview with Chris Ballas that maybe he doesn't expect that Corum will be in the lineup. But how do you view that? What's Purdue's biggest challenge? Are you buying it? It's the offense being able to put up points, and the defense being able to stop Michigan?
I think it's going to be trying to put up enough points. I just don't envision Purdue winning a 17-14 game or a 21-20 game against Michigan. If they're going to win, they're going to have to probably get towards 30 points. And can they do that against that Michigan defense is the question I think I've got. So that's going to be the key, I believe. I've liked what Purdue's done defensively most of this year, especially against the run. I know this is a different animal, but Purdue's seen some good physical running teams already this year. So, again, I guess I like that matchup a little bit better, the Purdue defense against the Michigan offense. Again, it's that other matchup, the Purdue offense against the Michigan defense. Can Purdue generate enough big plays and score enough points to beat Michigan? Also, just keep the ball away from Michigan, too. Can they control the ball a little bit with their ground game and keep that Michigan offense on the sideline for extended stretches?
And I don't know, this is a buy sell, and we're not making any light of of Aidan O'Connell's tragic situation and the difficulty he's going through. But how big of a challenge do you think that is just to game plan? You know, we don't know Aidan's schedule. Jeff Brohm seemed to, I don't know how to take what he said yesterday, but do you view that as a hurdle that Purdue's got to get over as much as possible in the most difficult of situations for Aidan?
Yeah, you don't know what's going to happen, what the impact's going to be over a week removed. He doesn't sound like he's on campus right now. Obviously, tending to family matters. Who knows? Yeah. So sometimes these situations, draw out the best in people and really steals their resolve, and their teammates rally around them. So, again, it's certainly an X factor. Again, Aidan's not here, so he's missing practice. But this is a sixth-year senior who you think could get up to speed pretty quickly come game time. So, yeah, we'll have to see, right? I mean, it's going to be a big storyline right up till kickoff. And it'll be interesting to see if Aidan is impacted emotionally or not. I just have a feeling, and again, not to diminish what he's going through, but once you get in the heat of battle, the fans, this crowd's roaring, people are chasing you, you're getting hit. It's hard not to focus on the task at hand. So, and again, Aidan's a 24-year-old guy who's been around a little bit and dealt with a lot. So you'd think if anybody mentally was equipped to deal with what he's got going on as well as you can be in these circumstances, maybe Aidan O'Connell's that guy. Yeah.
And again, the most challenging of circumstances, but Aidan O'Connell has shown time and again that what a quality individual he is. If anybody can deal with it, I suppose that he can at least put it in its place for the time being. It's a obviously a very difficult situation. All right, offensive line, protecting Aidan O'Connell. Jeff Brohm, I believe, said it was the best front seven he's seen all year. Maybe the Purdue will see all year. I don't think it's hard to argue that Michigan's defense is about as good as it gets, especially in the front seven from that standpoint. Are you buying or selling that they can adequately protect O'Connell?
I guess I'm selling. It's going to be a tough matchup with this Purdue offensive line. Gave up 3 sacks last week.
Yeah.
Of course, Aidan O'Connell doesn't do himself many favors. This is when you like to have a quarterback that can move a little bit and even just take off running when things break down. And, of course, Aidan's not really equipped to do that. And this is a very high caliber Michigan front, even without the first-round pick, Aiden Hutchinson last year. David Ajabu was a second-round pick. They still got a lot of good players on that D-line. And it's a Purdue O-line that's kind of running on fumes right now. They've lost 3 key players. Of course, Hartwig, Cam Craig, Daniel Johnson, starting Josh Kaltenberger at center. There's only one guy coming off the bench, Sione Finau. So it's a group that, like I said, is sort of running on fumes. And they're doing a good job. But this D-line for Michigan's at a whole nother level. I guess I'll be surprised if the Boilermaker front is up to the challenge. But maybe I'll be wrong.
Yeah, it's going to be it'll be a challenge. It'll be a challenge even in the best of times, even with Matt Light and Chucky Kobe and Brandon Gorn. Michigan's going to bring a lot of heat and a very, very high level of talent from that standpoint. Okay, bowl games. You've talked about that on the site. Interviewed Jerry Palm on Tuesday. Well, the story posted on Tuesday. Seems relatively clear if Purdue doesn't win, falls short against Michigan. Buying or selling the Citrus Bowl, it seems to me that makes the most sense from my perspective, that Purdue will win out over Minnesota and Illinois in that selection process. Are you in the same boat?
Yeah, I am. That's where Jerry's got him projected this week to play LSU in Orlando in the Citrus Bowl. A couple other of the bowl prognosticators had that same matchup. I think getting to the Big Ten title game should almost in some ways ensure that Purdue's going to get to Florida. Maybe it's Tampa for some reason, but I don't know if it'll be any worse than Tampa, which is still a good destination if you're not in Orlando. But Orlando's the quote-unquote better bowl of the two. The big key for that is having Penn State get to a New Year's Six bowl, and it looks like that's going to happen, given what took place last weekend with LSU losing to Texas A&M. That seemed to have opened the door for 10-win Penn State to be the favorite team, or a favorite team to get a Cotton Bowl bid, which, of course, moves everybody up in the bowl pecking order. Would open up Orlando for Purdue. And, again, I think that they've got a great shot barring some crazy set of circumstances that unfold during championship weekend. Purdue fans could probably start looking forward to a trip to the Sunshine State here in late December, early January.
Yeah, I mean, that would be a heck of an accomplishment. That game on January 2nd this year, as is the game in Tampa, because the January 1st falls on a Sunday. So that would be a great opportunity, certainly, for Purdue. All right, last question on the buy-sell. Obviously, Louisville did not make a change, at least it hasn't as of today, and not expecting that. Are you buying or selling? And again, there's been noise about that, but whether anything is going to happen, are you buying or selling that Louisville's going to make a change, and therefore there'll be some drama about the future of Jeff Brohm at Purdue?
I'm selling. I mean, I've got no knowledge to say one way or the other, but from everybody's view from 10,000 feet, I mean, Louisville's 7-5. They're going to a bowl game. I think Louisville's got bigger issues to deal with than their football team that just went 7-5 and is headed to a bowl game. So I guess I'm selling that. Again, crazy things happen. We understand that. Just because a change doesn't happen this week or next doesn't mean it couldn't happen in January or February. But again, at this point, I guess I would be shocked if they make some type of a move on Scott Satterfield at this point. So, again, we know crazy things happen, like I said, but at this point, it looks like it would be remote possibility.
I'm with you on that. I think it is possible if Louisville doesn't make a change by Sunday of next week, after that would to me would kind of eliminate any possibility. But like you said, I always go back to the Paul Chryst example. You never know what's going to happen. Jeff Brohm obviously has done a great job getting Purdue to where it's gotten to in 6 years. And is a well respected not only at Louisville but around the country. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. But I think you're right on that front. So Purdue will be totally focused on the Wolverines, and that will take all of Purdue's focus, one would say, on Saturday night to be able to get that job done. That is probably the biggest understatement of the year. So, all right, Tom, thank you as always for your insight. It's always excellent, and it is going to be a fun week as we prepare for the Big Ten championship game, 8:00. We'll have a lot of coverage leading into that as well. I want to thank acrepro Midwest Farm Group, your local farmland specialist. You can visit acrepro.com or call 765-587-3185 and talk to your local land expert today. Again, that number 765-587-3185. All right, Tom, thanks again, and we'll see you. We will continue these during basketball season. We'll probably do another one prior to Purdue's bowl appearance as well. So stay tuned, everybody, and thanks again for watching and listening.